Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and welcome to First Yahudin Messianic Temple. I am his servant, Maria Simpson, and welcome again, and thank you for allowing me to enter into your homes, yourselves, wherever it is that you're hearing me, even including, those that are here today and those that are coming. I thank you because I believe that every day every time that we get together is something very special. Don't you agree?
Amen. Yes.
And in the book of Psalms, it is said that
Hi, Olga.
it is an awesome thing when the brothers get together to worship Him on Shabbat. This is the day that He has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Why do we have to rejoice? Well, we're alive, we're kicking. He woke us this morning, we're breathing, and reality is there's power inside of us that's making our heart beat, our lungs breathe, expand, our blood circulate, our minds, working, and it's creating right now millions and millions of new cells, and we don't even know how it does that because we're not even doing nothing. And then we complain that we don't have nothing. Well, He put this message inside of me, in my mind, and He gave it to me, and it's about blessing. The power of blessing. Now, really, when we hear this word, the word blessing, we think it's just something that we can just say blessing and blessing and blessing and blessing and blessing and blessing. Like a lot going around. He goes, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm blessed and highly favored. I am blessed and highly favored. We can say whatever we want, but reality is everything we do in life, there's a responsibility to bring what we want out of life, even a blessing. And the sad thing is that most people don't want responsibility. They don't even want to hear the word responsibility because it's too hard not to swallow, but really too hard to digest. So really, what is a blessing? Why do we need it? What is a blessing? To start with, that a blessing is a statement of divine favor. Every human being wants to be blessed. But not everybody is blessed. See, the word blessing or bless in the Hebrew, it means knees, your knees, which means is you need to bend your knees, and really it means bending your knees. It means obedience. Just like a camel. When a camel is going to rest, what does the camel do? It bends its knees. Okay? So the word bless, really, it means obedience when we bend our knees. And why our knees? Because when we bend our knees, we go before Him. And really, we are saying to Him that without You, we are nothing. Without You, I am nothing. Because even the life that we have, our mother and father did not give us this life. Our mother and father were just vessels that He used because that life came from Him. So blessing is a gift of divine favor. In other words, is an approval from above, endowing prosperity, success, health, wisdom, understanding, a good relationship. So really, it's an approval. It's like, it's sort of like when a king is going to, it takes a sword and he knights his knights of the round table, sort of speaking. Not everybody gets that privilege. Only certain people. Now, it's not that you have to work for your blessing, no. But it really is called obedience, responsibility. If we go to the book of Romans, okay, and this is Paul speaking here. In the book of Romans, chapter number 9, verse number 17. Now, it says, now, he blesses, Yahweh blesses, God blesses whoever he pleases. Shabbat Shalom. He blesses whoever he pleases.
Amen.
What do I mean? Because no matter what, he is the one in control. Even what's going on in the world. Oh, you mean to tell me he allows all this junky stuff to happen in the world? No. He knows. Because see, the patience that he has, none of us have.
That's right.
And then we become so holy patrols that we think we know it all. And guess one of the things that we come, when we think we're so holy and patrol and all this, we love to condemn other people. Yeah. And look at what it says in Romans chapter 9, verse number 17. For the scripture says unto Pharaoh. See, Pharaoh was chosen by him.
Romans 9.
Romans chapter 9 verse 17. Even for the same purpose Pharaoh was used, have I raised him up, that I may show my power in thee, that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. Therefore has he mercy. Now who is he? He's talking about God, Yahweh, Elohim. Therefore he has mercy on whomever he will have mercy, and whom he will harden their hearts. For this is the reason that he has raised Pharaoh. Verse 19. Thou wilt say to them, then unto me, why do you find fault? For who has resisted his will? Who has resisted the will of Yahweh?
The enemy?
Huh?
The enemy?
The enemy. Yes. But even the enemy cannot do anything until Elohim, until God says yes or no. Because whatever the enemy is used to tempt us.
The enemy is used to teach us a lesson.
That's very good. The enemy uses to teach us a lesson.
He uses the
Because God, Elohim, cannot be tempted, cannot tempt anybody, because he cannot cause what he hates. So he needs sort of like a guinea pig. And guess what the enemy is? He's a guinea pig. And the enemy cannot do anything without his authority. That's why he is the accuser of the brethren.
Very true.
And one of the things that the enemy loves to do is when we disobey the Creator.
Yeah.
Because the enemy is the God of the power of the air. He's the God of this world.
Yeah. Very true. I agree.
And the enemy does not have a kingdom because he is not a king.
Yeah.
He does not have a kingdom. He has followers
Very true.
that work in his evil schemes.
Yes.
And really what he's looking for is for his children, for the children of the Most High to be disobedient.
Wow. That's true.
Because parents really do not like when their children disobey them.
Hey,
And
we're
he's a
talking about-
liar because he'll tell you that I can give you all of the earth.
He's a liar.
He's
The
a
enemy's a
liar.
liar. He's a liar. He's a thief.
Con artist.
He's a con artist. He is a pedophile. He is a killer. He is whatever you think is evil, he is.
He uses his power to.
He uses his power. Yeah, he uses his power. But guess what? We also have a power, and he uses his power when we give it to him.
Gives the authority.
We take what the power that the Most High has given us, and we give it to him when we think that everything's okay. And guess what? He uses people that we love. He uses sometimes the church, the synagogues, and he uses temples, and he uses religion, and he uses the system, and he uses the website, and he uses whatever he, because see, he's a snake in the grass.
And he claims that he has a kingdom, but he doesn't. He's
Now, you're absolutely right. Now, look at this. Being blessed is when you are endowed with power.
Wow.
And to be blessed, according to the scriptures, according to the word of the Most High, there must be obedience.
Wow.
Obedience. And what kind of obedience? That's why it's called barak in Hebrew, which means knees. You bend your knees and you go before him and you say, my life is nothing without you. Let me serve you. First Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 4. It is written in 1 Corinthians. Now, this is Paul speaking.
Chapter 12.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse number 4.
Amen.
Now, this is talk. Now, watch this. Because, see, we have a little misunderstanding of the scriptures. Many are saying you receive Jesus in your heart and everything will be okay. And down. Or you receive Yeshua and that's it. No. Because he paid the price. Well, yeah, he paid the price on the stake and he got crucified and they put what is it? A crown of thorns. But in reality is so he can what? So he can what? Because the goal is what? So we can understand the scriptures better. Because if he doesn't give us, if he doesn't open our understanding, we will not understand the scriptures. And understanding the scriptures is not just understanding the First Testament. I mean the New Testament. It's understanding everything.
Wow.
For this purpose, the Son of Man was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil, and also that what? So he can open our understanding of the scriptures.
It's in Luke.
In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. Now, this is look at what it says. Now, there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There's difference of administrations, but it's the same master or Lord. And there are diversities of operations, but it's the same Elohim which worketh in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit with all. Verse 11. But all these worketh, which talking, he some gave faith, he some gave wisdom, he some gave miracles, he some gave knowledge, he some gave healing. And then it says in verse number 11, but all these work the one and the same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. In other words, he gives to whoever he gives, whatever he gives, because that is his will. There are vessels of honor and there are vessels of dishonor. Do you remember Jonah?
Yeah.
Jonah was a vessel of honor. And he didn't want to obey the orders of the captain, of the general of Yahweh. He decided that he wasn't going to go to Nineveh and talk to them and said they had to repent. He says, no, I'm not doing this. I said, really? You're talking to your maker? What's up with you? Really? So he went to a ship because he thought he couldn't get away from him. Well, guess what? Guess what Yahweh said? He sent a whale, some kind of sea monster, some kind of whale, whatever, and he ate him up for 3 days and 3 nights. So you tell me who is not in control here? That the Most High is not in control? And guess what happened then? He spit him up because from Hades. He said, oh, of course, it's a representation of Yeshua when he was going to go 3 days and 3 nights to hell. So what happened? The fish spit him out, and what happened? He had to do his will.
Yeah, what choice?
Obedience is a very powerful thing.
Faith.
Now, blessing is anything that gives you happiness or prevents misfortunes. Blessing is the opposite of cursing. What is a curse? A curse is evil or injury that seems to come to an answer of a curse. Curse is the general word for calling evil or injury on someone or something. Cursed. Now, when cursed, that means that you're under a curse. You're under an evil spirit. You're wicked, under something that is wicked, or something that is very hateful. Now, get ready for this one. Blessings and cursing is a choice.
True.
Whatever we choose now will determine our future.
Very true.
So we can choose to be blessed and go under the blessing of the Most High with His power. Or we can choose to be disobedient and move away from Him and be under a curse that doesn't come, that we're not under Him. Please go with me to the book of Deuteronomy, Devarim in Hebrew, chapter 11, verse number 26. Now,
Amen.
the most beautiful thing about our Maker, our Creator of heaven and earth, is that He is a just God.
Amen.
He has no exception of anybody. Whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, whether you're fat, whether you're skinny, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you are Asians,
Green.
it doesn't matter. As a matter whether whoever you are. It doesn't matter. He has no exception of anybody. Do you all agree with me?
Yes, I do.
Now watch that blessing and cursing is a choice.
Which verse?
Deuteronomy chapter number, I believe I said number 11, 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
What day?
This day.
Today.
Oh,
Right now.
A blessing, look at this. A blessing if you obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you today.
right ahead. See.
And a curse if you will not obey the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, but turn aside out of the way, which I command you this day.
What
to
day?
Go, this day to go after other gods which you have not known.
Wow. Wow.
Obedience brings blessings. Disobedience brings a curse.
It's messed up.
How can I say this? Please go with me, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse number 1. Chapter 1. And it shall come to pass, if you shall not hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe, to do all his commandments, which I command you this day.
What day?
This day.
Today.
The Yahweh your Elohim will set thee on high above all the nations, and all these blessings
Wow.
shall come upon you, okay, and overtake you if you will hearken, if you will hear unto the voice of Yahweh Elohim. Now, I'm not going to go into all the blessings, because really the word blessing means you are going to be super fragilistic, espialidocious in happiness.
Yeah.
Super fragilistic, espialidocious. Gandalading, gandaladan, tindarading, ding, ding. You will be blessed beyond measure. You will be blessed in the city. You will be blessed going in the temple. You will be blessed when you go out of the temple. You will be blessed when you go in your house. You will be blessed when you go out of your house.
Happy.
And everything that you put your mind and your hands to, it will flourish. Mhm. Now, I'm not going to go, whatever it is that makes you happy, I mean, I'm really being happy that you don't do no harm to others. You will be blessed. But if you are disobedient, look at verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if you will not hear the voice, unto the voice of Yahweh your Elohim, to observe all his commandments and his statutes, which I command you this day,
What day?
this day,
Today.
that all these curses, more than one,
Doesn't sound good.
okay,
I hate
shall come upon you and overtake you. Did you know that curses is longer? It starts from verse 15 all the way to verse 68. You know why? Because most of us love this being disobedient.
Oh, yeah.
We love being disobedient.
That's part of growing up.
Because see, it hurts us when we have to obey. And somebody tells us, well, especially people that are in authority.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
People that are in power. People that are very high ranking, especially our Creator. Well, Maria, hey, the law is done away with. 300 and what? How many?
365 or 363?
300, I believe it's 365 or 318. I can't remember. You mean to tell me that I got to do all those laws?
603?
Excuse me?
603?
Yeah.
No. 613, I'm sorry, 600, thank you. 613 commandments.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me last week, and I have to say this, do I have, you know what, that sounds kind of ridiculous, that I have to do all those commandments. This one sister asked me, she's right here, sitting right here, Sarah. She asked, I don't know if I can do all those commandments. Well, I said to her, well, let me tell you, all those commandments are not for you and I. There's commandments for women, for men, there's commandments for animals, there's commandments for everything. Now, and then I said to her, let me ask you this. Do we here in the United States of America have to follow any laws?
Yes.
And I said to her, let me tell you, if you think the 613 commandments are a lot, that we don't have to follow all of those because it's for different people. For handguns, the laws for handguns only is over 22,000 laws.
Wow.
Responsibility.
No, we don't follow at all.
Woo! See, I said before you a blessing and a curse, death and life. What that means, I said before you life and prosperity, as well as death and disaster. You choose.
Yeah, that's a good thing about it. He makes you choose.
Now,
Choose.
what is the best example that I can give you? And then I'll finish the,
Just say life and.
Life and death.
life and death. No, life and prosperity,
Okay, prosperity.
as well as death and disaster. What will be the best story that I can bring you from the Bible about blessings and cursing? King Saul. King Saul's life. Did you know that King Saul was not chosen by God? He was chosen by man? Because he was handsome and tall and
Blue
beautiful,
eyes.
and he will wink his eyes and he will send a lot of kisses to women.
You have
And he
blue
goes,
eyes.
oh yeah, I know I'm handsome. Talk to the hand, goes, I'm so good.
Wow.
And people wanted him, Israel wanted him. And see, God looks at our heart and he will give us what we want. And sometimes what we want is not something good.
Yeah.
And he says, are you sure you want this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we want it.
Because you do have a king. And his name is myself, and I am called Yahweh Sabaoth, the Lord of hosts. And you don't see me as your king? And you want a king?
Oh, wow.
Your wish is my command. I will give you the desires of your heart. But be careful, because your disobedience, because King Saul was very disobedient, is going to be your ruin, your disaster.
It's true. Wow.
He decided, because see, when somebody's not in power, and all of a sudden he becomes in power, he becomes rich, he's a king, or maybe you're famous or something. Oh, your ego begins to fly.
Very true. Goes through your head.
You begin to have so much proudness, just like Pharaoh, that you begin to tell people, kiss my hand because I'm sterile.
She is very true.
That's true.
It
And
goes-
I'm a God. I'm a God.
It goes through your head.
I am a God.
You're not careful.
I'm a God. If you look at me, you're going to burn because I'm a God.
Yeah, I'm raw.
I'm raw.
Yeah.
Well, guess what happened to King Saul?
Yeah.
The Creator, because of his disobedience, took his spirit, the Holy Spirit, from Saul and sent him a tormenting spirit. 1 Samuel chapter 16.
Wow.
Don't play with fire, and Yahweh is fire, because you're going to get burned.
1 Samuel 16.
Don't play with fire. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse number 14.
Amen.
Now, Samuel was a priest and a prophet. Okay? And Samuel was the one at that time that he will bring the word of the Most High. And look at what it says in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 14. Now, Samuel went to anoint David because of the disobedience of Saul. And look at what he said on verse 14. But the spirit of Yahweh departed from Saul, and an evil spirit from Yahweh troubled or tormented him.
Wow.
See, God, Elohim, Yahweh, is the God of all the spirits, even evil ones.
He made everything?
Because everything comes from him.
Wow.
And then you say, or we say that we don't got power. We got tremendous power. It's just that for a lot of us, it's asleep.
True.
And look at what it says on verse 15. And Saul's servant said unto him, behold now, an evil spirit from Elohim is troubling you. Do you know what it is to be tormented by an evil spirit?
Nasty.
See, that's because he disobeyed. Let our Lord now command thy servants which are before thee to seek out a man who knows how to play the harp, and it shall come to pass when the evil spirit from Elohim is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shall do well. And guess who this man was? David, the one that was anointed. And when you're anointed and when you have a very high calling, you will have people that are closest to you that want to torment you. They want to get rid of you because of envy and jealousy. And look at what happened was, because of disobedience, that's what happened.
23.
Excuse me?
23.
23. Let's read number 23. And it is written,
Samuel?
yes. And it came to pass when the evil spirit from Elohim was upon Saul, that David took an harp and played with his hands, and Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. When you are anointed, when you are in obedience, and you are doing his will, no weapon that is formed against you will prosper. Because evil spirits see your light. They see your power. They see the angels that are around you, above you, all over, and they shake and bake, just like when Yeshua was here, and they kneel down and it says, you are the Son of Elohim. Did you come here to torment us before our time?
Yeah, that's right.
I haven't even finished the first page. Who wants to be endowed with blessing?
Amen.
Come on, let me see your hands.
Amen.
Who wants to prosper? Who wants to be healthy? Who wants wisdom? Who wants understanding? Who wants a good relationship?
Amen.
But the reality is, how many of us want to be obedient?
Pay the price.
I don't see hands.
Pay the price. You gotta pay a price.
Everything comes with a price.
True.
Even death.
Yep, you're right.
Because for death to come, we need to give our life away.
Yeah, that's the price.
Everything has a price. Every time we are going to learn something in life, we need to pay the price. And price does not always mean money. It can mean your time. It can mean your space. It can mean not thinking about you. Everything comes with a price, even a marriage, a relationship, when you go to school, learning how to drive, moving to a new state, a new city, a new country. There's a price that we need to pay. And what is that price? We humble ourselves and we learn from that situation to be better. And that is the blessing that you will get. Being blessed from the Creator is a choice. We choose to be blessed or we choose to be cursed. I set before you this day life and good, death and evil, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both you and your seed may live. Setting something before us is like setting a plate of food in front of us. We choose to eat it or we choose not to eat it. The Torah, the word, which is divine teachings and instruction, motivates us towards spiritual growth. In many numbers of ways, it tells us what we should avoid, but also tells us what we must pursue. If we dig deep and wrestle with difficult texts in the Bible, we can find gold in Elohim's word. When you are reading the Bible and there's something that you don't understand, there's something very profound in there that he wants to teach you. But what I used to a long time ago, because I didn't understand. When that happened to me, I'd skip and I would go to something else, something that it was more easier for me. Does that sound simple? Does that sound like you've done that before?
Yes.
One of the things that was very difficult for me was the name. This one came from this one and this name came from that. I said, what is this? What is this?
What do I need to know this?
What do I need to know this? Until I recognized he gave me the wisdom, the understanding. Why? Because really the Bible is the family tree where we come from.
Yes, a manuscript.
Including evil spirits.
Yeah.
Including Hasatan. So that is really our family tree. Because if you look at all those names, it's where all the countries that we have right now exist. I'm not going to go into that. Now, what does he do? What he did was he laid, he stand, he put something in our position. In other words, it's like when you come from the grocery store and you got 2 bags and you put it on the table. What are you doing? You're setting it. Yes or no? You're setting the 2 bags. According to the sages in the beginning of Elohim, he could not bless no other people. For the first people that he blessed were Adam and Eve. What did he say? He says, be blessed. I bless you now. Be fruitful. That was the blessing. Later he blessed Noah and his sons when they came out of the ark. Elohim blessed Abraham, the righteous one, who was given the power of blessing. You know that. He says when he called Abraham, I will bless those that bless you, and I will curse those that curse you. And in you all the families of the earth will be blessed. The word blessed means obedience. All the family of the earth will be blessed, will be obedience through your obedience. That's what that means.
Yep.
blesses you, I will bless. Who curses you, I will curse. Because let me tell you this. When you are obedient and you have a relationship with your Maker, the power of hell cannot come against you.
Amen.
Because Hasatan, when he was in heaven as Lucifer, he did not obey. And that is what he wants to do. He wants to show what disobedience is. What did it get him?
Nowhere.
They took around his tribe. They took out the light. They took everything away from him. And you have a power and you have a light that comes from the Most High. It is the grace of the Most High. It is the love of Him. And that's what the enemy wants. He wants to steal what He has given you. Because the first thing the enemy comes is to steal, kill, and destroy. And Yeshua said, I have come that you might have life and have it more what? Abundantly. Abraham. Now the most interesting thing that Abraham did not bless his son Isaac.
Abraham did not bless his son Isaac.
Abraham did not bless Isaac. However, he wanted to bless Ishmael. So Elohim stepped in and blessed Isaac himself. Genesis 25:11.
Wow. I love it.
My husband says he loves this.
Genesis 25.
This is the day that Yahweh has made, that Yahweh has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that Yahweh has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that Yahweh has made. Woo! Hallelujah.
Amen.
Genesis chapter 25, verse number 11. Oh, it's so nice to be different.
Amen.
It's so nice to be different. Genesis 25:11. Okay, look at what it says. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Elohim blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt in Laharan.
Wow.
So Abraham did not bless Isaac.
Wow. 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 So he won't get the credit.
No, he didn't get the credit. No. The power of blessings others was then transferred to Isaac, who then was transferred to Jacob, who blessed his 12 sons before he died. And you can read this in Genesis chapter 48 and 49. Jacob blessed his 12 sons.
Yeah.
Wow.
You cannot just say, blessing. And that's not the way things are done. Blessing is that you are going to be endowed by the favor, by His grace, by His power. So you can be happy. Joy. So you can be in shalom. So you can be in prosperity. So you can be happy and healthy and wise. He did not call us to be constantly miserable people.
There's a lot of idiots running around.
Yeah, you better believe it, there's a lot of idiots around. Running around. In the Torah, the word, which is divine teachings and instruction, Elohim told Moses that the power to bless others would now come from his priests. The Kohanins. See, these priests were not chosen by men. They were chosen by the Eternal One. Because He told Moses, whoever has my spirit, they're going to be the priests. How many priests and how many leaders are today that are not anointed from above?
Woo!
How many?
All over the world.
It is simple. It's the simplest and most beautiful of blessing. And let me tell you the blessing that it is. And all of you have heard this before. He says, tell Aaron, which was a priest, and his sons, thou shalt bless Israel. And say to them, may Yahweh bless you and protect you. May Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May Yahweh turn his face toward you and give you peace. Let them set my name on the Israelite, and I will bless them. Let's go there. Numbers chapter 6, verse 23. And by the way, that is one of the readings for today.
All right.
It's one of the readings for today after we finish here. Chapter 6, verse number 23. Speak unto Aaron and his sons, and saying unto on this wise you shall bless the children of Israel. Saying unto them, Yahweh bless thee and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And they shall put my name. His name is not God. That's a title. His name is not Lord, because that's a title. They shall put my name, Yahweh, Emmanuel, Yahweh saves, or Yahweh with us, or God with us, upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. You know what it means, I will bless? That is his will to bless us. What is the purpose of this blessing, of these priestly blessing? What is the purpose of the blessing? Because why, if he wants to bless the people, why doesn't he do it himself? The blessing comes from above. Blessings do not come from a man. And Yahweh commanded us to do his statutes, to fear, to reverence, to respect Yahweh our Elohim for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. This day. The sages commence, may we find favor in his eyes.
Amen. Amen.
My world, if only I can find favor in you all the time. In other words, in the world that I live in, wouldn't it be wonderful to find that we find favor in his eyes?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you think that we find favor in his eyes when we disobey him?
No, it's impossible.
When we make money sometimes our God?
Impossible. There's no way.
When we make stinginess, when we're so stingy that we make that our God, do you think we find favor in his eyes? When we look at ourselves sometimes and we think we are a God, just like Adam
Or Pharaoh.
or Pharaoh or maybe King Saul, and want to do things our way,
King Nebuchadnezzar.
and King Nebuchadnezzar,
That's a
do
big
you
one.
think that we find favor in his eyes?
Go eat grass in the yard.
Do you think that we find favor When we look in the material world and without it we cannot live because we want more and 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 more. Do we find favor in him? Does he find favor when we go, when we become, we need to live our lives like the Joneses and we become competitors against each other? Do we find favor in his eyes? Why his eyes? Because he looks at men what's inside of us, not what's outside of us. He doesn't care if you have $1 million. He doesn't care how many properties you have. He doesn't care how many liposuctions you have done to your body. He doesn't care how many tattoos or rings or bring around the collar and all that stuff you have, including they're hanging from certain private parts. You know what he cares for? And he looks, his eyes are looking in our hearts. We are the apple of his eyes. What does that mean? That when he looks at us, he sees the Torah in us. He sees the word in us. And when we look in his eyes, we are looking at the word that is looking straight at us, and we become one. This is too much, isn't it?
Yes. To handle is too much.
But you have to swallow it, digest it, and you know what? Because let me tell you, we need him more than ever in our lives.
A T-bone with a very hard bone.
We need him. At least I need him more than ever. There's too much hanky and too much panky going around. There's too much hatred. People are getting out of control. People just, if they see you drowning if they see you're drowning in Lake Michigan, you know what they'll give you? They'll give you an anchor so you can sink.
They're going to give you a lifesaver.
Yes.
No, they won't give you anything. They'll pull out their phones and video it.
She's so funny.
Put 'em
She
on
said they're
YouTube.
not going to give you anything. They're just going to give you a thumbs up so you can.
No, they're going to get their phones out.
They're going to get their phones out and put the thumbs up so they can.
They're going to video it.
They're going to video it. Oh my God, that's so
But
funny.
it's true. It's
That's
true.
Okay, let me break it down what this prayer is. The first verse, may Yahweh bless you and protect you. This refers, as the commentators don't, to material blessings, substance, physical health, and so on. The second, may Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. This refers to moral blessings. Chans, which means grace is what we show to other people and they to us. It is impersonal. Here we are asking Elohim to give some of his grace to us and others so that we can live together without fighting and envy that can so easily poison relationship. The third is the most inward of all. There is a lovely story. Listen very carefully because we need to hear this. There's a lovely story about a crowd of people who have gathered on the hill by the sea to watch a great ship pass by. A young child was waving vigorously. He was going like this. One of the men in the crowd asked why, he says. Why? He says, why are you doing this? And the young man said, I am waving so the captain of the ship can see me so he can wave back. But, said the man, the ship is very far away. And there is a crowd of us here. What makes you think that the captain can see you? Because this is what the boy said. The captain of the ship is my father. He will be looking for me among the crowd.
Wow.
That is roughly what is mean when we say, may Yahweh turn his face toward you. Because he's looking you to see you in the crowd, because he is your Father in heaven. There are 7 billion people on the face of the earth. What makes us anything more than a face in a crowd, a wave in the ocean, a grain of sand on the seashore? The fact that we are Elohim's children, he is our parent because he is our mother and he is our father. He turns his face toward us and he cares. This is why this message is for you, because he cares. The Elohim, the God of Abraham, is not a listen very carefully. The Elohim of Abraham is not a mere force of nature or even all the forces of nature combined. A tsunami does not pause to ask who its victims will be. There is nothing personal about in earthquakes or tornadoes. The word Elohim means something like the force of forces, the cause of causes, the totally of all scientifically discoverable laws. It refers to the aspect of the Creator that are impersonal. It is also referred to Elohim in his attribute of justice, since justice is essentially impersonal. This is where the Bible says, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It's an idiom. That just because you are a judge and you're judging somebody, you cannot say, well, this is my good friend Lollipop, and I'm going to judge this person nice, even though you cannot do this personal. You have to have what balances, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. It has nothing to do with fighting or killing. Let me tell you this. To bless, we must love. To be blessed is to know that we are loved by the one infinite than the universe, who no less turns his face toward us as a parent to his beloved child. To know that it's to find true spiritual peace. Now, what is our purpose here on earth? Our purpose here on earth is to grow as human beings. To develop ourselves by doing the Almighty's commandments in the Torah. To work on refining our character and perfecting the world. Now, how do we perfect the world? You got that power, and do you use it? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's called the power of prayer. Money cannot change the world, but prayer does. Do you believe this? Prayer is a means for us to fulfill our purpose. Prayer is about building a relationship with the Almighty. It is about changing ourselves and recognizing that everything comes from Him, the Almighty One. Blessed be His name.
Amen.
And only the Almighty One, blessed be His name, by strengthening this relationship with Him, us with Him, it changes us and makes us good for the Almighty to give us our requests. When you pray, what do you use?
Your tongue,
When you pray, what is it that you use?
your voice, your mind.
You use the word. You use words
Yes.
that are coming from your heart. When he created the world, what did he use?
The word.
The word. What is the Bible? His what?
Word.
His word. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with Elohim, and the word is Elohim. A prayer has three components based on how one will make a request to an earthly king who had the power to grant our requests, or even to put one to death. Number one, prayer praises the living Elohim. Two, because he doesn't need he needs our praises, but really what he wants is our obedience. Number two, prayer, we come with our request. What are you requesting? Number three, prayer, what it does, it appreciates the manner to him, that you appreciate what he's doing, what he's done, what he's about to do in your life. And really, we need to call the things that are not as though they are. Get ready for this. And I'm going to take my time when I say this. Please listen very carefully. And I told my husband this morning, in 1997, I asked him to give me wisdom. I mean, I screamed it out in about over 300 brothers and sisters in the church. And I just stood up. I mean, I was like, I want wisdom. Well, he sure gave it to me. And let me tell you what he gave me, a lot of problems. I'm serious. He gave me a lot of problems. Because with wisdom, he's going to give you a lot of problems so you can learn of life. Now, let me tell you exactly the answer to prayer, what you do. When you're asking him in prayer, when you're asking him for strength, what he's giving you, he's going to give you difficulty to make you strong. When you ask him for wisdom, Elohim will give you problems so you can solve them. When you ask him for prosperity, Elohim will give you physical strength and brains to work. When you ask him for courage, Yahweh will give you dangers to overcome. When you ask him for love, he will give you troubled people so you can help them. When you ask him for favor, Yahweh will give you opportunities. And when you receive nothing that you wanted, you receive everything that you needed. Because your prayers were answered.
Be careful what you ask for.
Excuse me?
Be careful what you ask for.
Be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, very true.
Before I asked him for wisdom in 1997, when I first started a year before in Christianity, my life was okay. The moment I asked him for wisdom, hell broke loose, and he gave me problems so I can solve. So be careful what you wish for, because wisdom is a spirit that it will make you go through really bad situations, because he's preparing you to give you the wisdom of the secrets of heaven. When we ask the Creator to bless our children, we are praying that they be granted wisdom, wealth, health, and character. In essence, we are asking everything that we value Because what do we value more than our own children? Besides Him. These blessings need to be appreciated in response from us to assure us that they won't be misused negatively to affect us. For those that are watching me right now, if you're in a hurry, you have my permission to leave. But I'm not in a hurry. Are any of you in a hurry?
No.
And I will love you just the same. The sage remnant teaches that the way actually all our blessings, prayers are called blessings. Because normally when we pray, whether you're standing, sitting, it's a form that we're bending our knees and we're going before Him, because whatever we're asking, we cannot do it without Him. All the Psalms in the Bible are blessings. They're called blessings. Because when all of our blessings, is known that a person with a good heart will be blessed. Did you got that? A person with a good heart will be blessed. The heart is what you are. It is a secrecy of our thoughts and feelings. When nobody knows but Elohim, and what you are in the invisible root bears as much of Elohim as what is the visible branch. Because man looks what is outside. I'm wearing white today. I got red. I got my covering. And it's okay. I love it. So what happens when you look, when people look at me, I'm just putting for this as a metaphor and a symbolic speech. You're looking at what I'm wearing. But what you're really supposed to focus is what's inside of me. And what is inside of me? Exactly what I'm speaking. That's in my heart. Am I speaking about the way I look? Am I speaking the way I'm dressed? Am I speaking of the colors I'm... No! Because this is not about me. This is about Him that's inside of me, because He's speaking through me, through the Ruach, through the Holy Spirit, because we need this in our lives.
Amen.
And then, as my husband said, this is too much.
It is too much.
You know why this is too much? Because He is too much.
Amen.
What comes out of our mouth proceeds from the heart. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, murder, adultery, fornication, theft, false witness, slander. These are what defiles a man. So the heart is utterly crucial to our Maker. What's inside our heart is what either we have communion or a relationship with Him, or we don't. What we are in deep, private recess of our lives is what He cares about the most. When we are in a secret place, when nobody knows what's inside our hearts, what we desire the most every day, that's what He cares about. Is it Him or the pleasures of the world? Is it Him or electronics? Is it Him or our evil? No, I'm sorry. Is it Him or our ego inclination? Yeshua did not come to this world to simply because we have some bad habit that needs to be broken. He came into the world because we have such a dirty hearts that He needed to purify from all the garbage that's inside our hearts. The heart is an organ that never stops and is always pumping life into the rest of our bodies. The word Barak, and that I'm talking about Obama, talking about blessings in Hebrew, okay? It's a gift from Elohim. Elohim, God, respects us by providing for our needs, and we in turn respect Elohim by giving him ourselves as his servants. Spiritually speaking, you should rid your mind of all that is distracting and aim to envision yourself as standing directly before his divine presence. Instruction with the words of thou shalt be blessed. The only ones that can bless that way are priests. There's no more priests anymore. Only a high priest sitting on the right hand of the Father.
Amen.
And before he left, he blessed us big time. And let's go there and you see what he said. Matthew chapter number 5. The Beatitudes.
Oh, yeah.
The Beatitudes. Yeshua is our high priest.
Amen.
Our Kohen Kadol.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And look at what Yeshua said on verse number 12, chapter 5, verse 2. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, blessed are the poor in spirit. Means poor in spirit doesn't mean people that are poor. Because to be poor, really poor, is a curse. It's not a blessing. Poor in the spirit, that means a humble spirit.
Yeah.
Blessed are those in a humble spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. The word blessed means obedience. Blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are they who are merciful, for they shall obtain what?
Mercy.
Mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim, God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Elohim, the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. You are the salt of the earth. What does that mean? Salt it preserves. You have been preserved. You have a calling. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper. We need to go to the book of Revelation. Go to the book of Revelation and let's see. And by the way, for those that want to know, I have the King James. I have the King James because it is the closest to Hebrew. Okay, because a lot of the others translations, they have taken a lot of things away. So look at what it says on Revelation chapter 1, verse number 3. Remember, the word blessed means obedience. Now, this is the angel that went to speak to John in the island of Patmos. And look at what he said on verse number 3. Blessed is he that reads and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. The time is very near. Revelation 19:9, chapter 19, verse number 9. Now, blessed are those that are going to be called to the marriage supper, because they have been obedient. Revelation chapter 19, verse number 9. And he said unto me, write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of Elohim. Which means these that are blessed are the ones that are endowed with favor and grace. One more place. The book of Revelation, chapter number 22, verse 14.
Amen.
22:14. Look at what it says. Verse 12. I behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his work shall be. I am the Aleph, Alpha and Omega. I am the Aleph and Tav, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter through the gates into the city. Hallelujah. The first physical man, Adam, went from being blessed to cursing man's DNA when he disobeyed. The second spiritual man, Yeshua, became a curse to bless man's DNA, because life is in the blood. Every place of your soul that your foot shall tread upon, that I have given to you, that I have said to Moses, no man will come against you. As I was with Moses, I will be with you.
Did you see that verse 14?
Excuse me?
Did you see that verse 14?
Verse 14, yeah, I said it.
Blessed are they that do his commandments?
I already said that.
I know, you did. But look at 15.
15.
15.
And verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers.
So without the commandments.
Without the commandments. Yes.
For without the commandments.
For without the commandments. That's awesome.
For
For without the commandments. Go ahead.
Are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Wow.
Whoever doesn't do the commandments, this is that.
And this is in the New Testament. That's powerful. That's very powerful.
Wow.
All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you. If you observe to do them,
Oh, this is too much.
and to do them. Please go with me to one more place. One thing that the Creator will never do, and this is something He will never do. He will never do this. No matter what, no matter what,
Where am I?
Joshua, no matter what happens, He will never do this. He will never leave you, nor forsake you.
What we got?
Joshua.
Joshua chapter 1, verse number 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of your mouth, but thou shalt meditate. We mean study therein day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make your way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Prosperous and good success in everything that you set your mind to do. And when you do this, nothing nothing will be impossible for you. Yahweh said it. It is done. It is already carried out. And it shall be done.
Amen.
Shavua Tov. Until next time, from First Yahudin Messianic Temple.